Let's start from the beginning. This is another flotilla that was captured. Israel again intercepts Gaza-bound ship carrying activist and humanitarian aid. It was the second ship operated by the coalition that Israel has prevented in recent months from delivering aid to Gaza, where food experts, I don't know why you need experts to see that they have not had months. They haven't had food for months, and they're now warning of risk of famine. I'm glad we need food experts, by the way, to tell us that there's risk of famine after so long.
I'm sure there are people within this community, right, that did this first, and there's people in this organization that knew they would have picked up and everything was going to be okay, and they'll move people where they got to move back, right? They didn't hold Greta. The next thing you know, she was there for like a day, and she was on a plane the next day, and she was gone. I think they knew that. I still think there are people within this organization that are like, no, they're real. And this happens when you have these organizations. You're going to have your real people and your pretenders. And the real people are like, I don't give a shit if they took our vessel and they do this. We're going in again. We have international law on our side. Let's go. And these organizations, these NGOs or whatever, they'll all have that people. That's like government. You'll even have a couple people in government that are the real ones and the fake ones. So I just feel that it's a little bit different from the rhetoric, the stories, the energy. You know what I'm saying? When Cynthia McKinney did it, she put her life on the line. She was held in a Israeli prison for 3 days. So you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. But notice the treatment, how it's different. You know, they're completely different.
So this was from Sarah that was breaking that Israel has attacked and boarded the Jardula Freedom Flotilla in international waters, an act of piracy. They're kidnapping 21 unarmed people, including 2 French MPs. Their only crime, bringing baby formula to starving children in Gaza. Here is the live. Now, they were smart to do a live feed the entire time. Yeah. So we do have footage of what happened. Here is what happened right before the Israel came on there. Whoever was there, the spokesman came on the radio and told them, you better stop. And anything you do from this point on, you're going to face the consequences. That's what they were told. They were warned. And here's the response to that warning from inside the flotilla. Check it out.
And we are sailing lawfully in international waters where you have no jurisdiction, have no lawful jurisdiction. Starving civilians. Any blockade that starves civilians or has a disproportionate harmful effect on a civilian population is illegal. And therefore you have no authority to enforce an illegal blockade. And as such, you are not permitted to use any kind of force to enforce an illegal blockade. We demand that you stand down, that you not attack the civilian vessel that is carrying only humanitarian aid. Why are you afraid of baby formula and teddy bears that are destined for the children of Gaza? You spew your propaganda about Hamas. This vessel carries food and baby formula for children that your government is deliberately starving. Your blockade is deliberately starving children to death. You have no authority to enforce an illegal blockade. This is a war crime. You are responsible for the health, well-being, and safety of all civilians aboard this vessel, and any attack on us is a violation of international law for which you will be held accountable by the international community. Again, we are a civilian vessel. We constitute no threat to you. Do not attack this vessel. Do not board our vessel. Do not obstruct our path to Gaza. Jardula out.
And then moments later, this happened. There's the 21 of them being rounded up and taken. At this point, it is semi-familiar to what happened to Greta, but now we're going to start seeing it a little different. We're not seeing them giving out the pizza slices and the whatever else beverages. So that's not happening here. This second flotilla also, I said they did the live stream the whole time until they were forced to cut it off. Obviously, there's not going to be any more stream after this. They also prepared video messages beforehand, knowing that this was definitely a possibility to happen. One of the members, if you guys don't know, one of the people on the boat was Christian Smalls, Amazon activist who successfully got Amazon unionized over in Staten Island. We know, we've been covering the story. You guys have been covering that story. We all know about Christian Small's activism. Here's Christian Smalls making a video before the capture, telling us what was going to happen.
My name is Chris Smalls from the United States. If you are seeing this video, we have been intercepted at sea and have been kidnapped by the Israeli occupation forces or forces of the country complicit in Israel's genocide of the Palestinians. I appeal to my comrades, friends, family, to everyone to put pressure on the U.S. government to demand my release and the release of my comrades as soon as possible. Thank you.
So anybody who thinks that it's still following the same timeline as Greta, think again. We just found out about this, issued this morning. The Freedom Flotilla coalition confirms that upon arrival in Israeli custody, U.S. human rights defender Christian Smalls was physically assaulted by 7 uniformed individuals. When his lawyer met with him, Christian was surrounded by 6 members of Israel's special police unit. This level of force was not used against other abducted activists. They choked him and kicked him in the legs, leaving visible signs of violence on his neck and his back. The Freedom Flotilla coalition condemns this violence against Chris and demands accountability for the assault and discriminatory treatment he faced. We're not going to get the media and other, quote unquote activists, being too loud about this other than off the grid. You're not going to see Trump, obviously. I mean, this just goes without saying, but maybe we should say it just in case some of you thought that this is one of those things that, Trump's administration would even say anything about. You're not going to get anything from them. And, we're at a point now. We're beyond betting for a beer, Craig. We've gone into a whole nother level of here's what happens. Here's the example they make when you go out of, when you say, I'm going to put my life, myself on the line, as Christian Smalls has done in his entire life, as we know in his career with Amazon and what he did after being fired. He still fought for the rights of workers, fought for the rights of people. Here he is now being tortured. And we don't know how this is going to end at this point.
Yeah, I'm putting up Christian Smalls to see if there's any update that's happened right away. Nothing yet. So we'll see. I mean, I know I'm just imagining how Trump and the administration will tackle this. Have we had any information from anybody from the administration making any statements about anybody in this flotilla yet being taken captive? Because I know they're going to say they shouldn't have been there. They're going to side, obviously, on the side of the Israeli government. I'm very curious to see what Pam Bondi or Rubio or Donald Trump himself has to say about this whole situation. They have American, over there. What will they say? Well, he's an American. He needs to come back. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting, but I'm pretty sure that you'll see the whole Trump administration in the tank for the Israeli government. But, it's a good thing. There's some points. I'm like, well, they were international waters. They got picked up. The blockade is illegal. They're starving children. The other day, Donald Trump acknowledged that they're starving children. Just the other day, it was an antiwar.com. He acknowledged it, that starvation going on. So technically, by the books, that lady is right. They're allowed to do that. It's an illegal blockade. They're bringing baby formula, And what is it? How is Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Rubio going to face it when they get some backlash, if hopefully there's some from the media, about an American citizen being beaten by the IDF? Well, they're going to say it's speculation. It's not true. Let's see the proof. And they're going to deny it. And they're going to say this is all made up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. And I think they're going to double down on what you said about these activists, quote unquote activists, put themselves in a situation that they know was dangerous. Why was it dangerous? Because they are meddling in the business of Israel. Israel's trying to work out the starvation issue. Yeah. So all of the news outlets, and we saw this over the last week, guys. You've noticed this, right? The change that the Western media outlets are now reporting on the starvation. Why are they doing that all of a sudden? Doesn't that incriminate Israel? No, it actually doesn't. If you look at the verbiage, we saw the Guardian do this. We saw all these different outlets. It's like they were completely coordinated at the same time to say, now's the time to acknowledge the starvation, but you're going to insinuate that it's not actually Israel's fault. Therefore, it's not our fault because we're funding Israel. Yeah. So how do they justify this? It's Hamas. It's the conditions there. It's shady activist groups on the ground. So Israel's getting to the bottom of it. Therefore, if you want to get on a flotilla and go out there, you're playing with fire because we're supposed to trust that the Israeli government knows how to handle this starvation issue. They're working on it right now, Craig. They don't need any help from Christian Smalls.
Can I add this real quick?
Yeah, let's go.
Trump acknowledges there is real starvation in Gaza. The comments came after Netanyahu put out a video claiming there was no starvation despite the daily malnutrition deaths caused by the Israeli siege, something that they were trying to rectify with the flotilla. This is by David DeCamp. Really quickly, President Trump acknowledged on Monday that there was real starvation in the Gaza Strip. Comments came after Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu claimed there was no starvation despite the daily malnutrition deaths that have been caused by the U.S.-backed Israeli siege. I'm glad they put the U.S.-backed Israeli siege because we're still paying for it, guys. Every day, hundreds of people die in Gaza. There's an ethnic cleansing going on. This would be the dirtiest stain on American citizens for allowing this to happen under their watch, actually going on and funding and buying it. That's real starvation stuff. I see it. You can't fake it, the president told reporters while meeting the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at a Trump golf course in Scotland. Trump said the U.S. become even more involved with getting aid into Gaza. However, the current U.S. aid system, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the GHF, has created death traps for Palestinians as they regularly gunned down by the Israeli military near the GHF sites, something that the homeless left has been reporting on accurately ahead of time.
Yeah.
We said this the day after it happened. The GHF brings food and they gun them down like pigs. So what Donald Trump is saying is just posturing too as well, because at the end of the day, we're going to be involved in the aid and the food and the military. How do you sit there and claim that when you're the cause of the problem in the first place? Everything Israel does, it does at the behest of the United States. The United States gives them the weapons to do it, and Donald Trump has exploded the budget. And you saw with the Marjorie Taylor Greene to even scale it back a little, they won't do it. So, he has acknowledged that there's real starvation going on. That makes the blockade illegal, right?
Yeah.
That makes that what they're doing over here. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Technically legal. I wonder how Donald Trump is going to respond when Israeli forces are just beating up a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I want to see what the citizens do and stuff like that. Sit there and tell me this wasn't racially motivated. Fuck off. I don't know. Do you think it was racially motivated? The IDF beating up on,
there could be a little of that. Also, they know who every one of these activists are. They have their profile.
Yes.
And I think that they are making an example of Christian Smalls, who we know is somebody who doesn't play by party politics. He doesn't play by a tribe. So he is actually more dangerous when he's outside of that box, as opposed to Greta, who's been in kind of comfortably in a box for most of her life. Christian Smalls is not. And I think that that's something that, it's sending a message. And we know like this is the example we're going to make of you.
How dare you come over here?
Yeah, exactly. And then at the same time, like you said, like even though Netanyahu and Trump are contradicting each other, it's not the first time we've seen that either. We've seen that.
The fake fight.
It's the fake fight. But Netanyahu is just trying to he's trying to posturize to other more extreme than him, right? The more extreme voices in Israel that say that he's being too soft, right? So he has to reposition himself and say there's no starvation. But make no mistake, the Western media is in complete alignment right now by saying now's the time we're going to tell the American people and the people in Europe, we're going to tell them that there's starvation, but we're not going to take responsibility for it, that we're funding it. We're not going to blame anything on Israel. We're going to keep pushing our anti-speech legislation in all of these countries. Specifically, if you're Free Palestine, that means you want to kill Jews, which is part of the narrative. We're going to continue to double down on that. Meanwhile, you guys are going to think, and this is the best part, Craig, if you're a casual reader of these news outlets, and you kind of flip by CNN, and you flip by MSNBC, you flip by Fox, and you think you're somebody in the middle, just kind of getting a whole spectrum of analysis. And guess what? Now it's time for you to have empathy for people in Palestine. It's not going to change your political alignment with what we do as a nation, because nobody in these articles, nobody in these news outlets are telling you that we're the ones that caused it. They're telling them it's other reasons, and we just have to all have a heart and put a whatever, a ribbon on our shirt or whatever it is they're going to tell us to do, to feel like that we're part of the solution. And then they're going to continue beating up on people like us who are saying there's more to this. There's more diabolical elements to this. And they're like, guys, come on. Can't we just all agree that that's a humanitarian crisis, like Bernie tells us, and just let it be that?
I think it's important to point out that, Norman Finkelstein would talk about the fact that the state of Israel is a little bit different than it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, at least there were people willing to say, this is not right. Let's live together in harmony. Where a lot of the population now has been programmed in school. They love to project that, every single Palestinian kid grows up wants to kill a Jew person. That's part of their religion. Yet, throughout their schools, we see them doing quite the opposite, right? They're projecting onto the Palestinians what they're doing to their children. So we have a nation now of Israel that feels a lot that Israel hasn't gone strong and fast enough to take care of this problem.
Yeah.
And they, waiting on Donald Trump to find an area to displace all these Palestinians. And therefore, your media is very much like that too as well.
If you are just flipping through the mainstream outlets and you're just kind of cycling through it and you're doing your part as a good American, outstanding citizen that spends about a half hour a day looking at stuff, you're not actually getting the story. The real story is the way Israel and the people of Israel are conditioned. Like you said, they are trained from a very young age. This is their mindset. They don't care. It's not that they don't even care about the Palestinians. They want them all to die. It's not. This is not.
They believe they have a right to that land.
Exactly. Because if the babies grow up, they will grow up to be terrorists, therefore wanting to kill everyone in Israel.
Is okay now.
And so we have to stop them. It's a preemptive strike, and it's totally okay. This is while we're getting our news from whatever outlet, The Guardian or whoever, telling us, oh, we feel bad about starving kids. This is this kind of garbage they're airing on their popular network. This is the most popular show on their channel 14. I'll take the volume down and read the translation here. This is what they're seeing right now on their news. I have to tell you, from the picture I see, I think they need to lose some weight. But you could call it selective starvation, like the selective shock of the left, because in the pictures you see very, very thin, really hungry, and their parents are fat and healthy. Sometimes they may even suffer from obesity. It's really phenomenon, I think it is. Do we have the picture of the mother of the girl? They claim died of hunger as of. Maybe we should see that. Yeah, if she's dead already, you have to see the mother. Oh, this is entertainment. I guess this is one of their entertainment shows, probably morning show, where you have your coffee and you laugh about these conditions of a mother and their kids. Okay. Let's put it this way. When you see the mother, it's pretty clear why the girl died of hunger. Come on. Let's see. Do we have it? Oh, raise it a little higher. Great. Lower it. This is not a starving woman. No, this is a woman who may have eaten all of her child's food. I don't know. I can think of any other option. A woman who ate a whole goat, who ate the girl herself. That is news coming on Israel networks right now.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. This is really what a lot of these Israeli networks do, and then it's parroted by some of the conservative right-wing pro-Israel media here in the United States, whether it be in the independent field or the mainstream field. That's a good one too, by the way. Is the confirmation bias they're giving people? There's a person from my acting class who's hardcore Jewish girl, Zionist, whatnot, and she pretty much states like everything that's put out media wise that favors the arguments from the Palestinians is all fake. It's Hamas. It's all bullshit. People aren't really starving. They aren't really killing children. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, there's some collateral damage. But this is the type of propaganda they're putting on the regular. And it's a little bit different, but it's still very much parallels what's going on in the United States. When you're one of those flippers who just looks to see what's going on. I'm an independent. I watch both mainstream conservative and Democratic news, right?
Yeah.
It's all fake news. It's propaganda. It's conditioning. Same thing's going on over there. It's going on over here. A little bit different right now because they're addressing, I think, a genocide, a little bit different than what's going on, over here. But still, same tactics, same way. Propaganda.
Okay, let me take a moment to introduce you to our good friends over at World Harvest Food Bank right here in LA. World Harvest has been serving families across Los Angeles for 18 years now, and they started with this simple idea. Everyone deserves access to healthy, affordable food no matter what they're going through. With their Cart with a Heart program, families can walk away with a full cart of groceries, fresh produce, dairy, meat, and pantry supplies for just a $50 contribution. That's for the entire cart. That same cart would cost over $300 at a typical grocery store. At World Harvest, everyone is welcome. They don't ask for income verification, ID, or any paperwork. No. Basically, their doors are open to anyone who's doing their best, but just needs a little extra push to get by. If you're an Angelino like me, you know the times have been tough here. First with all the union strikes, the LA fires, and now the ICE raids going on. It seems like we're living in a constant state of uncertainty. And that's why it's so important to support local charities like World Harvest, because they aren't just helping the community. They're an essential function in its very survival. World Harvest is located at Venice and Arlington. And right now, you can use our special discount code THL20 for 20% off your contribution amount at checkout. And if you're not in the LA area, you can still help out with a $50 donation, which will provide a full cart of food for a family by going to worldharvestfoodbank.org or scan the QR code for more info. Or you can just spread the word. Follow them online. Let people know they're here for them, because at the end of the day, it's about providing choice, access, and relief without barriers. World Harvest Food Bank. End hunger now.